Tell the truth. 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 Tell the truth.
No rest.
Thank you for the.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Great nations do, and we are a great nation. That's what they do. For only with truth comes healing, justice, repair, and another step forward toward forming a more perfect union. We got a hell of a long way to go. That's what's happening. That's what's going to happen with visitors of all backgrounds.
Tell the truth.
What's up, everybody? Peace. This is the Information Man Show. Thank you for your patience. A lot of great people in the chat room. I see Jonathan Kidd in the house. Thank you for coming over and over again, brother. And we've got the Empress Goddess in there. We got Just Alicia out of Chicago. A lot of people coming in. I don't know how many people are going to come over for this one, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to say what needs to be said. Now, I want you all to hear what I'm about to say as I take it slow today. I want you to ask yourself, did you see something that was wrong there? As Joe Biden said that it's about repair and justice. I want you to see this one more time.
Great nations do, and we are a great nation. That's what they do. For only with truth comes healing, justice, repair, and another step forward.
Now,
Tell the truth.
I want everybody out there to hear what I'm about to say. You see, Joe Biden said, with justice comes healing and repair. But you have to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, did Emmett Till get justice? Did Mamie Till get justice in this world we call America, in this place we call America, on this planet we call Earth? What are we looking at? Why are we continuing to be okie doked as black people in America? I want you to see this disturbing scene. Remember, Joe Biden said that he would be the justice president and that he had Clyburn set up there cooning or raccooning around, as I had said before. We have a lot of raccoons around here. And I just want you to take a look at that photo or that thumbnail and tell me, what are you looking at? You're seeing, once again, black people gathering around their white daddy, in this case, Joe Biden, as he signed some declaration. Now, he told us he would be the justice president when Clyburn, who you see right there, center over him, brought him to South Carolina, and black people basically put him over the top in this country, all over this country, that voted for him. Black women, mainly the standard bearer of the Democratic Party, because they voted at 93% for this man who said he would be the justice president. See, it was not under Trump's DOJ. It wasn't under Obama's DOJ, which Obama should have did something about this. But it was under Biden's DOJ that Emmett Till and his family got no justice. So before we can celebrate and clap, as you see these Negroes on here, some of these Negroes are members of the Do Nothing Black Caucus. I want to know, what are we celebrating? Why are people clapping? Are they clapping because they're going to make a statue, as you see here, and they're going to put these statues in various places where they're going to put one statue where he was mutilated by racist, white supremacists. They're going to put a statue in Chicago where he was buried in the church in which he came from, Chicago. They're going to put a number of monuments to recognize Emmett Till. Now, I'm not saying, ladies and gentlemen, that we should not remember Emmett Till, that there should not be statues to commemorate or to recognize what happened to him. But how can we, as black people in the 21st century, get all giddily and all laughy and ha-ha and hee-hee when Mamie Till, her family, Emmett Till, God rest his soul, has not received justice under this so-called administration that claimed to be the social justice administration? This is what they told black people. Not to mention, they also told black people, we're going to focus on immigrants and the hell with what you want. You see, you have to laugh to keep from crying because all of this is devastating. Once again, I'm asking you all in the chat room that is coming through, and I appreciate your support today. What the hell are we really looking at right
We're
here?
forming a more perfect union. We got a hell of a long way to go. That's what's happening. That's what's going to happen with visitors of all backgrounds.
You
Tell
see,
the truth.
ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what's happening right now. You see, this is called the Okie Doke. It's called politics. It's called, let me look at my hands where I take out a hat and I'm going to pull a rabbit out of the hat. But when I pull it, I'm going to make sure you don't see what I'm doing because it's called tricks. Tricknology, politricks, Okie Doke, the Okie and the Dokie, and all that sort of stokey. And see, it's always shrouded in symbolism because black people, we are suckers for symbolism. All you have to do is give us a statue, give us a day to be recognized. Come on out and sing to us. Remember when Obama went to South Carolina after those beautiful black people were killed, were deleted by that white supremacist? And what did they do? They sent Barack Obama to rock us to sleep with a damn Al Green song. We didn't need Al Green. And we damn sure didn't need Obama singing Al Green, out of tone, by the way. We didn't need that. What black people need is justice. What Emmett Till needs is justice. You see, this memorial would have made more sense if Joe Biden...
Information is power.
If Joe Biden would have took advantage and put his foot up the ass, if he would have put those, whatever size shoe he wears, 11 foot, 5 foot feet, 6 foot feet, 7 foot feet, he should have crammed them feet up the asses of the DOJ. And he should have told them, don't you come back, don't you come back without a conviction of Carolyn Bryant. Remember Carolyn Bryant? Here she is, folks. This woman is responsible. In my imagination, no, it's not an imagination. This woman is responsible primarily for the death of Emmett Till when she told that lie back in I believe it was 1955. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat room. You see, this woman deserves to be behind bars before she had passed away. This woman got to live well into her late 80s. Oh, she got to live a long life while black people in the Emmett Till family kept saying, we want justice. But no justice was given for this young, beautiful black young man, a 14-year-old who this woman claimed, and I'm going to knock out some myths today, so I need y'all to pay attention to this broadcast. You see, it was put out there in the atmosphere during the 1950s that Emmett Till had whistled at her. Stop the lies right now, folks. Stop the lies. That is a lie. His family has already said that that was a lie. His uncle said it was a lie. He never whistled at her because she gave inconsistent reports as to what was really going on. Let me show you this video right here. Bear with it. Information Man Media. Here it comes.
Her autobiography should be taken with a good-sized shovel full of salt. The story she tells in it is that Roy, her husband, brought Emmett Till to her at 2:30 in the morning and wanted her to identify him, that she said it wasn't him 3 times. And then she said, Emmett Till flashed me a strange smile and said, yes, it was me. 2 big white men with guns came and dragged him out of his aunt and great uncle's house at 2 o'clock in the morning in the Mississippi Delta in 1955. I do not believe for 1 minute that he identified himself. She said something I thought was interesting, not in the manuscript, but to me. She said, you tell these stories until it seems like they're true.
This is the man, this gentleman right here.
Tell the truth.
He's the author of the book.
Tell the truth.
Let me put this back here. I want y'all to see that book right there. He wrote a book. It's very telling because he actually interviewed this woman.
Until it seems like they're true.
That's the book right there. The Blood of Emmett Till is his book that he wrote. And he said when he interviewed her, he could tell that she was lying, that she was making up all type of different things and saying, as he had said there, that you tell a story so many times that it becomes true. She's basically admitting that she lied. She's basically saying point blank that she lied, ladies and gentlemen. I want y'all to let that sink in because what did he say? One of the things that he said that was very important is that she told the story that he was smiling at her. We've been told that he whistled, but then she tells him that he did a smile. Check this out again. Hear this again. Listen for that part where he talks about she claims that Emmett Till gave her a smiling gesture, but then it was reported that he had whistled at her, which is the damn truth. It's all a damn lie.
Her autobiography should be taken with a good-sized shovel full of salt. The story she tells in it is that Roy, her husband, brought Emmett Till to her at 2:30 in the morning and wanted her to identify him, that she said it wasn't him 3 times. And then she said, Emmett Till flashed me a strange smile.
Boom. She first said it wasn't him. Then she said it was him. Then she said Emmett Till flashed her a strange
the truth.
Smile, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're dealing with. And I want to ask everyone in the chat room, why is it that she's not behind bars? Why, before she died at 88 years old, lived out her life. From what I understand, she got cancer, which I don't give a damn. As you can see her right there, lived out her life as her health was failing her. But she was living her best life, y'all, with family around her. Emmett Till never got a chance to have a wife, a daughter, a son, a house, a car, a potential college education, or become a potential businessman. And Joe Biden tells us, and I want to say shame on black people who brought into this Okie Doke by Joe Biden. I'm going to play this once more.
Great nations do, and we are a great nation. That's what they do. For only with truth comes healing, justice, repair.
Tell the truth.
Once again, what you're looking at is Joe Biden, who is simply pandering to black people. You see, it's not a coincidence that he has decided, ladies and gentlemen, to make a monument to Emmett Till and his mother, Mamie Till. It is not a coincidence that he is about to run for re-election. You see the Okie and the Dokie here, ladies and gentlemen. And so all this time has passed that he has been in office, coming up on his last year in office. And the best that Joe Biden in the Biden administration in the Democrats can do for black people who voted for his ass at 93% black women, 83% black men, the best that he can do for us in this damn age is give us another speech and say, I'm going to give you a monument, and that should make black people happy. And I should be able to galvanize black people just like I did when I ran for election the first time, and I had Raccoon Clyburn supporting me. And all the usual Democratic black shills will rally black people and tell us why we should vote for Joe Biden and his administration. They will shame us if we have the thought of wanting to vote for someone like Cornel West. They'll say that Cornel West is a spoiler when that's all bullshit. Most people that are going to vote for Cornel West were not planning to vote for the Democrats anyway. So Cornel West is not cutting into any votes because most people don't want to vote for Joe Biden. And check this out. Not only do people not want to vote for Joe Biden, but people are getting tired of the Republican clan as well. There are people who don't want to vote for Donald Trump as well. We are tired of this two-party system. This two-party system that does not work. And black people, of all people in this country, we get very to no damn justice. The Asians were being attacked in this country, as they said, and without any committees or anything at all, ladies and gentlemen, they get a bill that's tailored to protecting them. Black people ask for reparations in California and all across this country. We're being denied, or we're being told we got to have committees and commissions, which are nothing but bureaucracy to basically waste our time and kick the can down the road. But yet, in a place called Oakland, California, which mainly had a black population, just a couple of years ago, I believe, a year ago or two, maybe a year ago, they gave a Native American tribe land because they said that this was their land in the past and the land was stolen from them. The Native American tribe in Northern California, in the Oakland area, that was given land by Oakland government, by the mayor, the leadership in Oakland, they were given land as a form of reparations without any commission, any board, any oversight, or anybody to say, well, we got to study this. When black people want something, they tell us we got to study it. That's just their way of saying you Negroes are not getting nothing. Once again, I want you to look at this and tell me, what are you seeing?
Step forward toward forming a more perfect union. We got a hell of a long way to go. That's what's happening. That's what's going to happen with visitors of all backgrounds to learn the history of Emmett Till and Mamie Till-Mobley through our national monument.
Tell
Now,
the truth.
the reason why he's pandering, because he also goes on to talk about DeSantis, the Florida governor, who, as you already know, is trying to destroy and distort and whitewash history in the school systems and the college systems in Florida. But as it may be, keep this in mind, black folks, it is our responsibility to teach our kids history. It is not our responsibility to rely on these public schools or any of these damn schools to teach our kids history. It is our responsibility as men, women, to get off our asses and do research and learn about our history, to weaponize our children against the bullshit that they are going to deal with when they go to these damn public schools and these colleges that may lie to them about their history. So that's where you can combat what Santos is doing. But also you notice that Florida is a state that has all different race of people. And isn't it interesting, folks, that nobody else's history is being attacked in Florida? Florida is made up of a large Jewish population. There's no attack on their history as it relates to the Holocaust. You have Cubans, you have Brazilians, you have Haitians, you have Africans, you have Jamaicans there. Their history is not being attacked. That's why you're not hearing any of these people speak out for or cape for black Americans who are foundational about our history in the state of Florida. That's why there's none of those people talking up for us, because we have no friends, we have no allies, we just have a lot of bullshit that's going on. Once again, I say, what the hell are we looking at here with Joe Biden? What is he really doing? His Department of DOJ, Department of Justice, has done nothing to give this family justice. How can you have the audacity, Joe Biden, and anybody within that government, and that includes the Do Nothing Black Caucus, how could they have the audacity to sit up here and clap like you see right here? Clap their hands, smile as if this has been justice for the Emmett Till family, just because we're going to have some statues that we can remember this young man. But that doesn't solve the fact that his life has gone without justice. It doesn't solve the fact that the DOJ didn't do anything to put this woman behind bars when she was alive. This woman was allowed to live her best life. This woman consistently lied on interviews that she gave, and she made inconsistencies in her books. This woman is responsible for this beautiful young man being mutilated, hung, lynched, the whole 9 yards. It was her husband. It was these good old boys, these yahoos, these white supremacists who did this. That's her husband who was involved in this bullshit. Here he is right here, hugging her up to her closely. Why was she allowed to live? I believe she was living in South Carolina at one point in time. Why was she allowed to live? Why was she allowed to live? Hear me out, ladies and gentlemen, all these years to not be held accountable for the things that she created in the fact that this young man was mutilated. Why? I say again, why was she allowed to live to the ripe old age of 88? And then the DOJ, let me tell you what Joe Biden's DOJ said. You see, it's a damn shame for black people. Let me give you chronologically. Originally, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you in the chat room knew this?
Truth.
Showed by putting a 7 in the chat room. Did you know that originally there was a warrant for her arrest in the 1950s when this whole thing took place? And that warrant for her arrest was never served or honored. And I think it was 2 years ago, someone found this warrant. And the question is, would the warrant still be good today when she was at one point in time still alive, living her best life? There's a picture of her to the right, picture of her in her younger years to the left. Here she is as she got sick and much, much older, lived a life and continued to say continued to do what she did, keep a lie that she said to the author of the book, The Blood of Emmett Till, that when you tell this story, you start to believe the story that you're telling, the lie that you told, woman. And therefore, this little white supremacist who lied got this young man deleted. Let me also remind you of something else, folks.
Truth.
White women historically have been on the front lines of black men and black young men being deleted in this country. And I'll tell you why. When we go to school, the majority of the teachers tend to be white teachers, in this case, female teachers. So when young black men are demonized when they go to school and they're told that they can't do this, or when they're labeled as hyperactive, or some prison from school to prison pipeline is put on that child, it always starts with the white female teacher. Throughout this country, you had women. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, you had a white woman who lied on a young black male. He was killed, mutilated, which caused the massacre. And remember, Miss Fletcher did not get, or her brother that you see on the screen here, either one of them got any justice. They did not get reparations. Once again, Biden simply went to Oklahoma, gave a funky speech, got everybody excited. Everyone's clapping. Yet to this very day, when they put forth a lawsuit in Oklahoma to get reparations because they are the living descendants of what happened. They are the living victims of what happened, and their descendants in the town. And the judge, a female judge who claimed that she was for justice as well, denied these beautiful black people the reparations, and I did a show about this, y'all already know that they deserved. And therefore, they got nothing. Once again, Joe Biden and his administration never jumped in to give them justice at the federal level. Once again,
the truth.
Listen to this bullshit.
Look, telling the truth in the full history of our nation is important.
Yes, it's important, but you said justice and repair. Reparations mean repair, technically. Listen to this part where he says that. I'm making a point here.
Great nations do, and we are a great nation. That's what they do. For only with truth comes healing, justice, repair, and another.
Reparations mean repair. Reparations mean justice. Joe Biden has been the president. He did not give them reparations. He did not do an executive order for reparations. He did not cut a check for them whatsoever. He simply went down there and did the same thing that they're doing with Emmett Till. Symbolism, statues, museums. Give us symbolism. Because if you give black people symbolism, they'll eat it up like cake and they'll be satisfied and they'll see me as I'm a good president. They'll see me as their option to vote for me. You see, this is pure bullshit on Joe Biden's part. And it's a shame that the black people that were in attendance at this at this celebration did not recognize that they were being okied and dokied and bullshitted by Joe Biden and his administration. Because like I said before, he is only doing this simply to gain votes and to galvanize black people around him by giving us some butter biscuits so that we will recognize that Joe Biden did this and he would be the only president that would do this by giving memorial monuments to Emmett Till. But then we have fallen a day late and 25 cents short, ladies and gentlemen, because once again, justice has not been served to the Till family when the DOJ under Joe Biden did not find any guilt in this. Let me show you what I'm talking about right now. Let's start with the warrant that I told you about that was in Mississippi. Check this out. This came out in 2022. Jackson, Mississippi top legal officer has no plans to prosecute the white woman whose accusation set off the lynching of a black teenager, deleted our young man, our 14-year-old Emmett Till, nearly 70 years ago. An aide said Friday, following revelations about an unserved arrest warrant and a nearly revealed memoir by the woman where she admitted she actually screwed up, ladies and gentlemen. But then check this out. So people were trying to convince the Attorney General of Mississippi to serve that warrant to her and arrest her. They didn't do no such thing because white supremacists are always on the same page with each other, and they're always on code. And remember, white supremacists always operate on both sides of the equation, on both sides, ladies and gentlemen.
Thing having to do with black people, the white supremacists are involved. I mean, otherwise there would be no such thing as white supremacy. You know, if black people were just walking around, I mean, with nothing affecting them, you know, in economics, in education, in entertainment, any of the 9 areas of activity, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war. If black people weren't affected by the system of white supremacy, there would be no point in talking about white supremacy. So the hypothesis is, the conclusion has to be based on logic and evidence. Everything that black people do, every move that they make anywhere on this planet called Earth, is dominated by the system of white supremacy. That's what it's designed to do. Dominate all of the affairs of people classified as non-white.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
What am I saying, ladies and gentlemen? Check this out. So after the legal prosecutor in Mississippi refused to serve that warrant to her, look at what Joe Biden, I must emphasize this when I say this, Joe Biden's DOJ didn't do. How do you have a memorial when business has not been taken care of? The business of justice. They allowed that woman, I think they did it on purpose. They allowed that woman to pass away so they would not have the obligation to put her behind bars and prosecute her. Let me also say this, folks.
Tell the truth.
Never believe someone who tells you that why don't you let sleeping dogs lay sleeping? Why you want to go and drills up all this history? The woman is 88 years old. Come on, she's old. Leave this alone. Black folks, what's happened has happened. Move on. Don't live in the past. Stop worrying about what happened to us in the history. Go forward. Don't use it as a crutch. Now, knowing your history is not using it as a crutch. The last time I checked, ladies and gentlemen, why is it that Jewish people and other race of people can chew gum, skip rope, drive a bike? What do I mean by that? They're able to be successful, go to college, have a job, own their own business, own their own home. They're able to talk about their history. Why is it that Jewish people can talk about the Holocaust and how they should never, never, never forget about what happened to them, and that they always recognize their history every year during their celebrations? Why is it that Japanese people will never forget about what happened to them when they were put in internment camps in America? Why is it that every other group can say never forget? Why is it that Native Americans can also always every year during Thanksgiving have an anti-Thanksgiving celebration in which they recognize what happened to their ancestors being killed and slaughtered by these nasty pilgrims that we celebrate every year? Why is it that every other group is so allowed to express how they feel in this society, ladies and gentlemen, and be who they are? But when black people begin to express our history, we're told, sometimes by people who even look like us, the raccoons, you know, that we should stop it. Come on, don't get over it. It's okay. Nobody will tell Jewish people to forget the Holocaust, but we're told that we should not think about or recognize what happened to Emmett Till or anything in our history because, oh, you sound like you're whining. This is about truth. If you're going to talk about justice, then justice has not been served in the case of this young man, 14-year-old. He was a kid, Emmett Till. Joe Biden sets up here and tries to pander to black people. And some of you out there that are listening to me, you went for the Okie Doke. You got excited. You watched the video. You clapped. You got all into it. Even though by getting all into it, this is the excuse that his DOJ gave us. But the case was closed in December after the DOJ Civil Rights Division concluded that it could not prove that Carolyn Bryant Dunningham, that's her full name, Carolyn Bryant Dunningham, had lied. When questioned directly, Carolyn Bryant Dunningham immediately denied to investigators that she had recanted her testimony. When that's also a lie, she did recant testimony. It's been reported that she has said different things to different people that have interviewed her when she's gave an interview. Should I play this? And I have to once more. Here we go.
Her autobiography should be taken with a good-sized shovel full of salt. The story she tells in it is that Roy, her husband, brought Emmett Till to her at 2:30 in the morning and wanted her to...
You know, he said her story should be taken with not a grain of salt, a shovel of salt. He interviewed this woman, and in his book, he wrote the book, The Blood of Emmett Till. He knew that she was lying about a lot of stuff. She was miscounting. She was lying. She was trying to clean it up.
Identify him, that she said it wasn't him 3 times. And then she said, Emmett Till flashed me a strange smile and said, yes, it was me.
Now, that's the 2 individuals that were involved. That was one of them is her husband in the middle. They were involved. The trial took 1 day. During the trial, ladies and gentlemen, they had Pepsi. They let these guys, while they were having this trial, they let them have a pop break. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? They brought in soda pop, Coca-Cola, and they were drinking the Coca-Colas and laughing amongst each other. While you had a jury listening to this case, and those white men that were involved in mutilating Emmett Till to this point right here. This is what they did to Emmett Till, and I hate this, what they did to him, but I want y'all to see this. This is what they put in the Jet magazine. The Jet magazine, I believe it was Jet magazine or Ebony magazine. You can correct me in the chat room. They were the only publication to show the world what they did to Emmett Till because it was Mamie Till, his mother, who said, no, I want an open casket. I want the world to know what they did to my baby. I want the world to see what they did to my baby. This is what they did. This is what happened to him. You can see his face is completely mutilated. This is a sad state of affairs. This woman's lie contribute to what happened to this young 14-year-old kid, Emmett Till. I want to let you see the casket of Emmett Till as it is in today. They put his casket in the Smithsonian Museum. This is very eerie. Look at it. It is a damn shame. It is a damn shame, Peggy Ross. It is a damn shame, Jill's Chocolate Boutique. It is a damn shame, Fly Seas. It is a damn shame, Deborah Guns. Great to see you over here, Deborah Guns. Haven't seen you in a little while, but I'm glad to have you here. Judah Queen is a damn shame. It is a damn shame. That is the casket that his body was placed in. The mother wanted an open casket to let the world see what they did to her son. And this was published, I believe, either in Jet Magazine or Ebony, owned by Mr. Johnson. When Ebony was relevant, Ebony is not relevant today anymore, but at one time, Ebony was relevant. And you see what they did to him. You see the mother breaking out in emotional sorrow for what they did to her son. This is the actual gravesite of Emmett Till. July 25th, 1941 is when he was born. And I was right, this happened in 1955. His life was taken away August 28th, 1955. Emmett Till, in loving memory. This is a damn shame. Now, ladies and gentlemen,
Tell the truth.
I call myself the information man for a lot of reasons. Because I like to research, dig up stuff, and bring you things to cut through the lies. You see, on YouTube, people spend a lot of time having panels talking about irrelevant stuff, fighting back and forth with one another. And that's just not how I get down over here. I'm giving you content that is real life content that really matters, that you can learn something from, that you can look for a solution, that you can gain knowledge, that you can understand history. That's what I'm about over here, not drama. You see, this is not a panel-driven channel. And I want you to know that I appreciate those of you that support this channel over the years that you have, the support that you've given me. I had to take this one slow, not get super hyped up, and stay logical, say things nice and slow to pronounce words better. When I get hyped up and talk real fast, that's when things don't come out in my pronunciation. But I owe it to tell this story right. You see, we heard the story of Rosa Parks. And there was a lie told about Rosa Parks. Now, we know that Rosa Parks was not the first black woman to not give up her seat on a bus. And that the other young lady, who is now a much elderly woman today, they didn't want to use her because she was a teenager that was pregnant. And during the civil rights movement, they didn't think that that would be a good look to have the face of the civil rights movement be a teenage girl who actually was impregnated. You see, this was back at a time when black people in our culture, we had values, we had standards. I don't know where the hell things have happened today where you have twerking and you have all this, let me wear my pants below my ass like I have a bowel movement. You know, that was a time when black people wore suits. Men were men, ladies were ladies. We respected our elders. You didn't dare go outside dressed like a buffoon. And you damn sure knew that if you were to get pregnant or do something that was not accepted by the culture, you would be shamed for it. But today we think that rap music and all this sort of stuff represents black culture. No, it doesn't. It represents the degenerate part of black culture because most of our rap music is about stripper culture, drugs, and gangbanging. All these things that do not represent true black culture. That represents Sambo and gumbo culture. And so the story I want to tell about Rosa Parks right now as it relates to Emmett Till is that it was a lie told that Rosa Parks did not want to get up from her seat because she was tired and her feet were hurting. That is further from the truth. The real reason why Rosa Parks, and God rest her soul too, the real reason why Rosa Parks decided not to get up from her seat, to stay fast in her seat, to be arrested, to be a symbol of the civil rights movement, and not to get up from her seat, not only because it was also a political and a social strategy by those that were involved in the civil rights movement, but because she said that when she was on that bus that day and refused to give up her seat to white folks, she said she thought about Emmett Till. She thought about Emmett Till. This is the truth, y'all. This is real history here. She thought about, I got this information from Joe Madison, the Black Ego, who knew Rosa Parks personally. And he told this story, and she told Joe Madison, don't ever tell that lie that I didn't want to give up my seat because I was tired. My feet was this and that. She said it was because of thinking about Emmett Till and what they did to him, which you see right here. Mutilated his body. That is how Rosa Parks ties into this. I want y'all to always remember that. That is part of real history that was told from her mouth to Joe Madison, who was personal friends with Rosa Parks. I'm also very proud to be able to say to you on this platform that when I was in college,
Tell the
she
truth.
actually was on a tour, and she arrived at my university, and I had a chance to meet her. I had a chance to look at her in her face as they were giving her roses, literally, when she arrived to my school, as she was touring different schools and giving speeches. And of course, she got a nice, healthy speech engagement fee, which she deserves. I don't care. We give money to buffoons every year to come to schools to speak. So she deserves this clap that I give her right now. So the DOJ, ladies and gentlemen, could not give us justice
the truth,
because they claimed that they could not confirm that she lied, but she did lie. You can go back into the records. You can look at interviews. This is bullshit. Joe Biden is sitting up here celebrating when he has presented nothing but bullshit. You cannot sit up there and say justice and repair and you didn't give this family that. All they want to do is put us to sleep with statues. And like I said before, there should be a memorial to Emmett Till with a statue. I agree. I have no problem with that. But it doesn't mean anything from Joe Biden and his administration when they did not put that woman on trial before she passed away. I think they purposely wanted her to die so that they would not have to deal with that reality and think that we as black people would just be satisfied with that. I'm here to tell you I'm not satisfied with that. Listen to a little bit of this.
Emmett Till was dragged from his bed in his great-uncle's home near Money, Mississippi, August 28, 1955.
Wednesday, the sheriff came and told me they had found the body at Phillip.
His family was notified 3 days later that Emmett's body had been found in the Tallahatchie River, 25 miles north of Greenwood, Mississippi. A 200-pound fan from a cotton gin was tied to the body with a strand of barbed wire.
Well, the body was very decomposed, very much.
In Mississippi, those who pulled Emmett's body from the riverbank have not forgotten what they saw.
He didn't look very good.
In Chicago, those who prepared the remains for burial have not forgotten either. The box containing Emmett's body arrived at the old Illinois Central Station at Roosevelt in Michigan.
I remember when they began to unload the body, I looked and I saw the biggest box I'd ever seen in my life. And I realized that that box had my baby's body in it. And I was just overwhelmed with grief.
Tens of thousands passed by Emmett's open casket as it lay before the altar of the Roberts Temple Church of God in Christ.
I want to thank Alan Christian for the $10 super chat. Peace and respect to you.
Super chat. Thank you for the super chat.
As people would file by the casket, almost 1 in every 5 would faint. And this included men, women.
That's Mamie Till talking. That's on the screen.
And the screams, I mean, the screams were just incredible. It was almost as if people were looking at their own child there rather than a stranger they didn't know. It was at that time that I knew Emmett was not just mine, he was a universal child.
Tell the truth.
Emmett's funeral was held here September 3rd, 1955.
My subject was that day, God has brought him unto himself as a sacrificial lamb to wake the conscience of America of his racism. And from this, many would be delivered.
Tell the truth.
I want y'all to hear something that James Baldwin said that I thought was powerful. I'm going to move this up, this audio, and I want y'all to hear this. I think it's James Baldwin right now. Here we go.
Hit the newsstands, and people were really able to see what had happened to a youngster simply
This is history.
because of hate and race discrimination. I think it really let us see the ugly monster that race hatred is. It's almost as if it was embodied in his appearance and his physical appearance, because it is a monster.
Here's James Baldwin.
In some sense, it was myself in that coffin. It was my brothers in that coffin. It was, I can't describe it precisely, because it was so, it had been so.
Tell
been so
the
violent.
truth.
It was him, but it was all of us.
Boom. What happened, ladies and gentlemen, what you're hearing there was James Baldwin, the great writer. James Baldwin said that when he looked at Emmett Till in the casket, it was like looking at his own brother. He said what made it so horrific is that it was not only Emmett Till in the casket, but it was all of us. That was a powerful statement, that it was not only Emmett Till, but it seemed like it was all of us. Listen to this again.
His appearance and his physical appearance, because it is a monster.
In some sense, it was myself in that coffin. It was my brothers in that coffin. It was, I can't describe it precisely, because it was so, it had been so mutilated, it had been so violated. It was him, but it was all of us.
It was him. He said he had been so mutilated, so violated, that it was him, but it was all of us. Do you hear what James Baldwin was talking about there? They said that men, not only women, but men couldn't believe what they witnessed when they looked into this casket right here, which is now in the Smithsonian Museum. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask this question of you all in the chat room.
Tell the truth.
Why is it that when it comes to black men, black boys, that the only time that black men and black boys seem to be celebrated is when we're either deleted, when we're in some type of tragedy that's happened to us? When you look at what happened to George Floyd, it was all symbolism around George Floyd. Everyone celebrates when a black man is no longer alive, when a young black boy is no longer alive. They celebrate your image when you're gone. But when we are alive, it's almost as if we are visible in society. Remember that book, Invisible Man? It's almost as if we're invisible. When we are alive, nobody wants to give us achievements unless we're playing basketball or football or doing some goofy stuff like rapping. I ask you, what is wrong with us? We know that America is rooted in racism. You heard on that audio that they thought hopefully this could his deletion would change America. But America has not changed today. It's the same America that it always has been. The same bullshit, the same stereotypes that they put on us. And once again, Joe Biden administration has the audacity to pander to black people by thinking that this memorial is somehow giving us a black agenda. This is why Cornel West is someone you should probably consider thinking about voting for. This is why Cornel West is getting traction, because there are those of us in the black community who are tired of the Democratic plantation. And it does not mean that the Republican plantation is any better, because there are people that are sick of the Republican Party as well. We have the two evils here. How about we not have to vote for any evil? The worst of two evils. Joe Biden, who's a liar. Joe Biden, who signed the 84 crime bill that put more black men in jail. Joe Biden, who hugged up with white supremacists like Strom Thurmond, who was friends with some of these white supremacists. Joe Biden, who said that he was concerned that his kids would be put into a racial jungle. He said this out of his own mouth. A racial jungle during the busing in the 1970s, especially in Boston. The same Joe Biden who crafted that crime bill and your so-called first black president, Bill Clinton, signed that crime bill. So what are we really looking at when we're listening to Joe Biden in his rhetoric? I want y'all to check out this video right now. Thank you.
Moment at the White House today on what would have been Emmett Till's 82nd birthday. President Biden signing a proclamation establishing national monuments honoring Emmett Till and his mother. And the president's message to those who want to change the way children are taught about painful parts of our country's history. Here's Mary Bruce.
On what would have been Emmett Till's 82nd birthday, President Biden today establishing a new national monument to honor the teenager whose brutal murder in 1955 helped spark the civil rights movement.
I can't.
Now I'm stopping it there because I got a point I want to prove. Let me put it right here. Here we go.
On what would have been Emmett Till's 82nd birthday, President Biden today establishing a new national monument to honor the teenager whose brutal murder in 1955 helped spark the civil rights movement.
Now,
Tell the truth.
I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, what's happening there? What are we looking at? Why are they clapping? What victory has become to the Till family? Are they clapping because they have finally put Carolyn Bryant behind bars before she died? Are they clapping because they got her in court and she's awaiting trial? No, ladies and gentlemen, they're not clapping for that reason. They're clapping for another symbolism, a statue. Once again, as I said before, yes, we should have memorials to people that were taken down untimely, unjustly. I get that. But the truth of the matter is, you put a memorial up and it doesn't change the fact that justice did not happen. You can make an argument that Emmett Till's spirit, he is not resting well because justice has not been given out. And now it can't be given out because the last remaining living person that they tell us, so-called tell us, because God knows there could be some more alive that they ain't telling us about. But the person that we know that was most prominent is now no longer here. 88 years old, she lived to and passed away due to her cancer condition. And I ain't crying over her. So why are black politicians and who's who clapping their hands as if justice has really been carried out? Because now there'll be a statue that we can go to and memorialize. That's good. It makes you feel good. It's good for the spirit. It makes you feel good to look at the statue, to say, hey, there go the statue hanging high right there. But at the end of the day, it's still a monument. It's still a statue where birds can fly around it and shit on it and all sorts of things. You know how it is. You see monuments around this country all the time where birds fly high in the sky and they can poop on it and all sorts of things. So how is that really going to change the fact that the family didn't get any justice, although we can go and see the Emmett Till statue? This is the Okie and the Dokie. This is politics. at its finest. Continue.
I can't fathom what it must have been like.
Just 14 years old, Till was visiting family in Mississippi when he was kidnapped, tortured, and killed by 2 white men after a white woman accused him of whistling at her. Till's mother, Mamie Till-Mobley.
Once again, I mentioned to you that was a lie.
Tell the truth.
He never whistled at her. The family member said that he couldn't whistle, and he didn't whistle. That's been one of the lies told. And you saw the video that I played of the man who interviewed her, where she said to him in the interview that he smiled at her in such a way. Didn't say anything about it. See, all these different stories and lies.
Insisting on an open casket at his funeral in Chicago, wanting the whole nation to see his battered body and bear witness to what racist hate did to her son. The new monument established today will honor her as well.
14 years old. 14 years old. She said, let the people see what I've seen. Let the people see what I have seen. My God.
The president today declaring the importance of telling our nation's full history, even as some now seek to change how Black history is taught. Florida Governor and Republican presidential candidate Ron DeSantis has defended his state's new educational guidelines that will teach students that some slaves may have benefited from the skills they developed.
At a time when there are those who seek to ban books, bury history, we're making it clear, crystal clear. While darkness and denialism can hide much, they erase nothing.
The president's stern warning today, silence is complicity. The new monument to Till will include 3 sites: the Mississippi riverbed where his unrecognizable body was pulled from the water, the historically Black church in Chicago where his funeral was held and where the world saw the horror of this hateful killing, and the Mississippi courthouse where an all-white jury acquitted his killers. They did later confess, but were never held accountable.
Tell the truth.
While Joe Biden sits up there and talks about accountability and reconcile, he didn't do anything. He should be held accountable for not doing anything to bring Carolyn Bryant under indictment while she was still alive. You see, he's been in office for damn near close to 4 years now, and he had all these years that she was alive before she started to become decrepit and before she started to break down physically, right? In this way that I show you right here. And I don't give a damn about how she became decrepit. It is what it is. Before she became that bad off, he had the first year he was in office. He had the second year he was in office. He had the third year. And I'm sure you had Black people that were writing him, lobbying him to somehow get his DOJ on the job. And then the DOJ comes back with that piss poor excuse for why they did not arrest her and indict her. And yet, do you know, ladies and gentlemen, to this very day that Jewish people are still looking for Nazi criminals? You have individuals who were Nazis in the 1940s who were involved in the extermination and the deletion of Jewish people. And some of these Nazi war criminals have become elderly, old, and frail. They may run to places like Argentina, where a lot of these Nazis ran to. They'll run to some far corner place to live their life out into their old age. And the Jewish community will do everything to investigate and to find these Nazi criminals out wherever they are. And no matter how old they are, the Jewish community will bring them to justice. And 9 out of 10 times when they bring them to justice, they get justice from this DOJ. Black people, we can't get a damn thing from this DOJ. We can't get we can't even get popcorn. This is all happening under Democratic leadership. Just like in Chicago. Do you know in Chicago right now that those migrants are becoming a serious problem? Those illegal migrants. There's been reports that they're walking around getting high. They're getting whippings. They're doing They're doing all sort of threatening things towards people that are citizens in Chicago. Oh, yeah. They're walking around with backpacks on, riding around with bikes. They're even trying to give them permits for jobs. Did they do all of that for black folks that live there? Pay taxes? Once again, another Democratic leadership. Republicans are no damn better either, because you see Santos in Florida is trying to destroy black history. Everybody is coming for our shit. But nobody, if you notice, it's radio silence, ladies and gentlemen. No other groups are caping for us. No other groups are jumping out the window and saying, Santos, you can't do what you're doing. Do you see any other racial groups protesting in Florida right now for black folks? Do you see that? No. You had the members of Kappa Alpha Psi Black Fraternity who had a convention down there in Tampa Bay, Florida. And I'm getting reports that they got sick down there. They also got COVID. And the question is, why did they not cancel out their convention given what's happening in Florida? Black people should cancel Florida. We should not support anything that has to do with Florida if we can't help it. And I may say to you boldly, we may have to cancel Joe Biden in the Democratic Party. Don't let them demonize Cornel West and say he's a spoiler. They're mad because Cornel West resonates with young black people. He resonates with all people, and they got a problem with that. I don't like when Cornel West be calling everybody his brothers and sisters, because some of these people he be calling brothers and sisters ain't our damn brothers and sisters. But the fact of the matter is, Cornel West is for the poor. He's for the righteous. Biden is just a typical politician, pandering to us, to our sensibilities, manipulating us every step of the way. Listen to this rhetoric right here.
Silence is complicity. I will not be silent, nor will you be silent about it.
Joe Biden, you are complicit.
Tell
your
the
DOJ,
truth.
your DOJ didn't do anything. They came back with some bullshit, and you didn't take your shoes and cram it down their asses and tell them they better come back with a way to find this woman in a courtroom and prosecute her while she's alive. You should have done that. And the Black Congressional Caucus should have been ramming their shoes up Joe Biden's ass to get him to do, and his DOJ to do the right thing. There was too much documentation, too much stuff out there that could have proved them and given them the ability. They didn't want to do it because they simply wanted that white woman to die of her natural causes, to die so that they would not have to deal with it. Once again,
Tell the truth.
I ask you all again, what are they clapping for? What's the celebration? There can't be a celebration if Emmett Till's, one of the very living individuals when she was living, when she was never brought to justice. So I tell you again, what are we clapping for? His mama always wanted justice for her son. So what are we clapping for? We're clapping for steel, metal, something that's been fabricated into a statue to look like Emmett Till, but his soul cannot rest properly when justice has never been served. I like to know what is really wrong with us as you see black people in this audience
There's really
clapping.
critical work ahead to continue the fight for racial justice and equality for all Americans. And my administration is...
It's a bunch of bullshit. He says again, to fight for racial equality. What equality have black people gotten under the Joe Biden administration? There is no anti-black hate bill. There is no reparations. He's not even thinking about reparations. Even his own vice president, Kamala Harris, said that she wasn't going to do just something for just black people, but yet was willing to say what they were going to do for the LGBT community and willing to say what they were going to do for the Asian community and the immigrants. And when black people say, what are you going to do for me? They run to the very thing that they always run to. Well, we're going to do something to help marginalized people, people of color, people that are marginalized. When we ask them what they're going to do for us, they put us in a trick bag called marginalized people, people of color. Don't call yourself people of color. Everyone got mad because you had that congressman who used the word colored people, and you had the one Congress lady who got mad. What's the goddamn difference? I don't want to be called colored people no more than I want to be called color.
Tell the truth.
What's the difference? The Democrats are calling us colored people all the goddamn time when they use the word people of color. It's the damn same word, just said in a different way. I tell you, folks, the height of hypocrisy is what we have happening. I really do tell you.
Committed to leading the path forward, and I know the members of Congress here are even more committed than that. I'm going to close with this. The reason the world saw what Mrs. Till-Mobley saw was because another hero in this story, the black press. Oh, I'm serious. Jet Magazine, the Chicago Defender, and other newspapers and radio announcers who told the story were unflinching in the bravery with which they told that story, making sure America saw what they saw. Ida B. Wells once said, quote, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them. The way to right wrongs is to shine the light of truth on them." Well, that's our charge today. By the parent thing, do you ever think we'd be talking?
Ladies and gentlemen,
the truth.
What you just heard in that situation was bullshit. There is no light of truth being turned on anything here because you had an opportunity, Joe Biden, and your DOJ failed the black community by not finding Carolyn Bryant guilty as charged without charging her and putting her in a jail cell where she should have died before she could die at home or in a nursing home where she was at one point in time. She should have died behind prison bars. But you failed. You didn't do it. And then I have to say, the strange thing, once again, is to see black people clap as he panders to black people, as he continues to say, it was Jet Magazine and the Chicago Defender and this and that. We already know that. I even said that on this broadcast today. You see, Joe Biden is simply campaigning early to black people because he's about to run for president and he knows that Cornel West is going to give him some problems. So he's pandering. He figures, let me give black people symbolism because we know how black people respond to symbolism. Let me give you a statue. Let me say a few words that will make you feel fuzzy and happy inside. Let me acknowledge your magazines, your newspapers and magazines, which you know damn well he doesn't read. It's the same thing that Joe Biden did for Miss Viola Fletcher and her brother when they were denied reparations in the state of Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the federal government should be stepping in to give them reparations. When Joe Biden went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, he should have said that it was going to be his job to give them reparations, but he didn't.
Tell the truth.
I want to quote what my man Phil said. The numbers have gone up, ladies and gentlemen. America has given the Ukrainians over $100 billion in financial help. You hear what I just said? $100 billion. Now, what is wrong with that? I tell you what's wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. That's our reparations money. That's our tax dollars. That's the reparations money that should have went to the folks that are the descendants of the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre of 1921. That's the reparations money that both Miss Fletcher and her brother, both in their 100 years of age, should have gotten.
Tell
That's the money
the
that's been
truth.
denied of black people in America. They can give $100 billion to a foreign country with foreign people who are not citizens of the United States, people who did not vote and put these motherfuckers in office. I did say motherfucker.
Tell the truth.
Did not put them in office, did not vote for them, did not stand in line to vote for them, did not have to deal with voter suppression to vote for his ass. Not one Ukrainian has done anything to help this country, but yet they get $100 billion towards their war cause, which is nothing but a proxy war that the United States is involved in against Russia. And I'm going to tell you something about Russia. Do your history, because the Russians have actually had a great relationship with African leaders over the years. Go back and look at your history. They've been in consolidation with Africa. They tell you, well, the Ukrainians are good. The Ukrainians are not bad. Putin is the evil guy. Yeah, he may be evil, but remember, you had a lot of Nazis over there in the Ukraine with the Nazi symbolism too. I'm not saying that Putin is a good guy. He's an evil guy too. But what I'm saying to you is there's a reason why Russia and China have a better relationship with Africa than the United States have. Although both Russia and China, you know what they want. They want the resources. That's what it's all boils down to. So $100 billion goes to the Ukrainians. And when black people ask for something as citizens of this country that put their asses in office, they tell us, let us think about it. Let us have a commission to talk about it. Let's form the HR 40 bill for reparations, and we'll form that bill. And that bill that we'll form a discussion about it that will go on for decades and decades and decades and decades, and nothing will get done. It's called Okie Doke. Politics. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to the conclusion of my presentation, but let me go into the chat room to read some of your comments and your thoughts for today's program. I appreciate everybody who's here today. We got Cruiser Chris World Network saying, sue him. Good points. But then we need to have black leadership, which we do not have, to stand up and do so. But this is why it won't happen, because the black leadership that would be necessary to sue Joe Biden or sue the DOJ, which you can't sue the DOJ, by the way, you can't. But the very people that could make something happen are the very people that were in there clapping their hands. They're the very people that you see on here. Let's wake up. These would be the very people that need to push that agenda, but no, they're caught up in the love affair of the great white hope, Joe Biden. In their mind, that we need this man as the great white hope, which is nothing but a joke, okay? Rep says this, can't wait to see both the blue donkey and the red elephant fall. I want both of them to fall because they're both not serving us any good. Fly C says this, the black, yep. Let me go back into here. Curse Chris World Network says this, also remember his son and his family are under investigation for corruption while he has been in government. Yes, that's true. We got Angelica, who's coming in the house pretty strong here. She says, Information Man Show, the problem is that the suit was filed under the Nussane law in Oklahoma. Okay, they should have established that, the Tulsa massacre. Right, so then this is the question. They didn't have good, why didn't these top black lawyers that always be jumping on all these cases when it comes to people, being deleted by the police, why didn't any of these top flight lawyers take Miss Fletcher and her brother's case? And Mother D, who's also alive. We got Big Doggo Philly in the house. What's going on, Alan Christian? Big Doggo Philly says this, like, share, and please subscribe. Yeah, please subscribe, everybody. I appreciate that.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Big Dog is in the house. Make sure y'all check out his channel, too. Big Dog Philly OG has a channel. Good brother there. I have a lot of respect for him. We've got the Broken Farmer saying, well said. Thank you. Thank you very much. Clap to you. Now, we got Golden Melanin saying America always wants their enemies to be our enemies. Facts. And Golden Melanin, it's good to see you. I hope everybody's health is okay. I haven't seen you in a while, so I hope that you're doing well in terms of health. Everything's going well in your family. Because I know things can happen. People have personal things they have to deal with. So I know people, people sometimes they have other priorities that they have to focus on, but I hope everything is okay. Golden Melanin, so good to see you over here once again. Same thing with you, Deborah Guns. So good to see you too. We got AB in the house. AB says, this headache, listening, dude. This headache, listening, dude. All right, AB. Once you explain yourself more in detail, what you mean by that, AB. Give us a little bit more context. It's speculative that they deleted Johnny Cochran. Well, Johnny Cochran was getting involved in the reparations movement too. There's a lot of reasons why they would want to knock him out of the box. Okay, Big Dog Philly OG says, all well over here, my brother. Thank you. Hopefully everything is good with you and your. Yeah, I just want to make sure. And when y'all come in the chat room every now and then when I'm able to talk to you guys, to you ladies and you gentlemen, please let me know that everything is going fine with your family. Everything's okay, because I know life gets in the way. People get ill. People lose family members. People get depressed sometimes. People just say, hey, I need to take a break from this or from YouTube, whatever it may be. I just want to know that everybody's okay, because I know that life happens, and I want to make sure that everyone is okay. Fly C says, yeah, we need another Johnny Cochran. Yeah, we do. But I don't know. Shirley comes in. What's going on, beautiful Shirley? She says, I would vote for a clown instead of Biden. They will never get my vote. That's why I said a week ago that I'm looking at Cornel West. Another thing, let me let you all know, I tried to reach out to Patrick Braxton. Remember the show last week about Patrick Braxton, the brother who's the mayor? And I sent out a message. I saw two, I don't know if these are real YouTube pages. I saw two YouTube profiles for him, and I sent messages to both, have yet to get a message back. So I don't know if this brother reads his, or how often he's on Facebook. Obviously, he's got more important things to worry about with what's happening to him down there in Alabama. But I'm going to still keep trying to see if I can get his attention so that I can get him on the show at some date and time. But I appreciate all of you that have been involved with calling this down there, everything that you've done. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all. Let's see what we have here. We've got Lady St. Clair saying, this was a very good podcast. Thank you, Lady St. Clair. I appreciate you. We got India Love is coming in the house. Let's see what she's got for us today. Indy's here. And Indy says, that's sweet to pause your conversation to check in on the... Yeah. The reason why is because you're all humans. You're people. Things happen. And when I saw Deborah Guns and I saw Sister Golden Melanin, I hadn't seen them in a while in the chat. So the first thing that came to my mind is, these are people that you're talking to. These are real human beings who have real lives and have real things that happen. And you should, I think all content creators should do this. You should at least ask people how they're doing, because they might need your support. They may need the support of the people in the chat room. So I think this is important. Anyway, Kendra G is in the house here giving a love symbol. Thank you. Alan Christian gave me a super chat today. I really appreciate that. We got Auntie Dog is in the house saying, salute Information Man. Why is it that we are still considered as 3/5 a man or human being? Well, you got to go back to the history of the 3/5 human being. Remember, at one point in time, the South wanted to count their slaves and the North did not want them to count their slaves, or Lincoln did not want them to count their slaves, because if they could count their slaves as human, the South would dominate. I think it was they would either dominate the Senate or the House. They would dominate. So they came up with a 3/5 human being compromise. That's how they got to calling black men and women 3/5 human beings. It was a political compromise between the North and the South as it relates to over who's going to have political power within the political demonized system. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you over here. He says this, because we are the children of Israel, the real Jew. I agree with that. Clap to you. I agree with that. That's got paid. Let me see. Ricky 12 comes in and says the 3/5 compromise. Thank you. 3/5 compromise. That's right. People know their history in this chat room, which is why this is the best chat room in the business. Last I heard, Cornel West was backing reparations. Fam, face purple, wide eyes. Yeah, he's backing reparations. So, there's some things about, when I see Cornel West get on these shows and he be calling everybody brothers and sisters, and sometimes, I get a little bit like, they ain't necessarily your brother and sisters, brother, but I understand he's a religious man. He has a doctorate degree in religious theology and all those sort of things. He's a very brilliant writer, very brilliant man, a very big intellect. I get it. Oh, we got Black Anonymous in the house. Let me see what Black Anonymous is saying. Black Anonymous, I hope everything is going well for you. Everybody in the chat room, let us know that you're doing fine, that everything is okay. If it is, Black Anonymous said this. I remember Patrick Bratrick's story. I sent you some information that I hope was helpful. Yes, sir. And guess what? I'm going to go back into my email and dig into that a little bit more. Black Anonymous, I'm just waiting to get in contact with. That's why I'm saying if any of you discover him on any other social media before I do, just drop me some information, because I want to get him on the show. I gotta figure out a way to get in contact with this man. I send them 2 messages on 2 different Facebook pages that had him on there. But you know how Facebook is. You have people that make fake profiles, you know what I mean, of people. Let me see what Golden Melanin is saying. She says here, and because they always want to try to send a message out that we are never good enough. Facts. We got Carlton's Way. We got Carlton Way 1 saying Island Christian to keep us as paranoid and underclassed. I agree with that. To keep us paranoid and underclassed. Yeah, they got some problems coming their way. They definitely have problems coming their way. Let me see. Who else do we have in here? Gatekeepers. Yeah, you got gatekeepers. You got gatekeepers. Oh, Jonathan Kidd's in the house saying, Black Anonymous, what's up? Yeah, what's up to everybody in there? I'm going to get ready to end this program in just a bit. I'm trying to keep my streams a little shorter than normal because sometimes people don't like to rewatch long streams, but as long as I get to the point. Judah Queen said this. The video I saw did not tell me he was for us getting reparations. His wife is Iranian. He never married a black woman. Oh, I didn't know that. Now, I did not know that. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Because you hardly ever see Cornel West with his wife. You normally just see Cornel West by himself. So I find that very interesting that when he goes to speak to black people and he gets to shouting and hooping, you don't see his woman there. You just see Cornel West. I find that very interesting. Let me see. Here we go. Chris World Network. Pandemic 19 is still around, information man, by the way, but the government doesn't want to tell you that. Well, remember I said in this broadcast today that the members of Kappa Alpha Psi, they decided to still have a convention in Tampa Bay, Florida. And I got very good reports that I was listening to Wilmer Leon on XM radio on the Urban View radio station. And a member of Kappa Alpha Psi called in and said that a lot of the Kappas down there have caught this virus. And he said that Florida as a state has been lying about their virus numbers. They played it down. And now you got brothers out there catching it at this convention. And then, of course, Wilmer Leon said that they should have never had the convention because of what's happening in Florida with Santos or Santis, whatever the hell his damn name is, the evil bastard that he is. Peggy Roster says that Cornel West is all talk. We'll see. I think some of his views are a hell of a lot better than Joe Biden's. I'll tell you that. But a lot of these people do a lot of talking, but I think his views are a hell of a lot. I think his views are more better in our interest than what Joe Biden's been putting out. We got my man Yapples in the house saying, thank you for saying it. Yapples says, thank you for saying it. So let me read, yes, Cornel West does a lot of talking, but let's just be honest. I remember when Cornel West and Travis Smiley were criticizing Obama. And I was very critical of both of them because at one point in time when Obama first got in office, I was just like everybody else, all excited. But then when I look back on it now, I have to admit that both Cornel West and Travis Smiley were right about Obama. 100% right. But Cornel West has his problems too. I would agree with Peggy and Yapo that he does do a lot of talking and yapping. And truth of the matter is we need more or less yapping from leadership, and we need more action. But I got to be honest with you. When have we ever been led into revolution by intellectuals? Usually the people who lead us into revolution come from the streets, like the Black Panther Party. So, even Malcolm X, as intellectual as Malcolm X became, Malcolm X came from the streets. So, no intellectual, even like Cornel West, because it's never happened, these intellectual black folks have never led us to a revolution. It's usually been guys that have come from the streets and they've rise up to do something great with their life. They've had to go through struggle. Now, you could say that Dr. King is the exception to that rule because he's a Morehouse man. He was very intelligent. But he was kind of thrust into the civil rights movement as a young man because if it had not been for that, we would have never known Dr. King. Dr. King was probably going to take over his father's church. That's a little history that people don't know. His father was a well-known pastor in Atlanta, Georgia. He came from a well-known family. And had it not been for him being thrust into the civil rights movement, Dr. King was well-educated and probably would have ended up taking over his father's church. And we would have known him as a preacher in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a trip how your life can take a turn based on one decision that you make can change history. We have T.Y. McKitchen in the house saying, yeah, they led us to the right, to the right now, nothing. Good point. Good point. Okay, Yalpo's going to drop some knowledge on us. He says, I've been following Cornel West for a long time. I started out behind him decades ago, but over the course of time, I peeped him out many. Let me see, I peeped him out. I'm going to read it right here. I peeped him out. Many are too young to have seen the evolution. When you peeped him out, because I've been watching him a long time too, Yapo. when you peeped Cornel West out, it seems to me that he seems to be he seems to be very much a promoter of you reading his books, right? So remember when him and Travis Smiley went on that Probity tour, and it seemed like it was just a grift to get people to buy their books. It seems like a lot of these black intellectuals, the only time they come out and start talking and yapping is when they got a book to sell you. Now they get on these shows and they say, hey, I got a book. It seems like it's part of the marketing for their book. Or when he was not happy about not getting tenure at Harvard University. And I guess he went on the pen. Then one time, check this out. One time, not to hover on Cornel West, but one time I heard Cornel West, as I think about this now deeply, I heard him in an interview on Joe Madison's channel, Sirius XM Radio. And Joe Madison asked him, you've been having all these issues with these white schools in terms of your tenure. Have you ever thought about teaching at a historical black college like Howard University? And Cornel West said this. He made this claim that, well, they may not let me do my research and my book writing and be able to do the things I need to do. So it's almost like he was making excuses for why he could not teach at a black university. Because I often wonder, as much as he talks about black power, why is it that these intellectuals, why is he not teaching at a black university with black people who could benefit the most from what he's got to say versus teaching at some lily white university? Because why? I'll tell you why. Because we see white is better. It's called cultural conditioning. We underestimate and undervalue and marginalize anything that's black while putting anything that's white on a pedestal. And as a manifestation of that, we put it on a pedestal and we look up to it. We see black as inferior and white as superior, even when it comes to the universities. And yet, historical black colleges do have their problems with infrastructure and all those sort of things. But I think that's why Cornel West has stayed in white universities, because he wants to be where he feels he will be more relevant when he gets on shows and they say, this is Cornel West from Penn University versus this is Cornel West from Morehouse. You get what I mean? You get my saying? You get my drift? Boom is right. Boom is right, Red Squid X-Files. Dog says, facts. Thank you. Thank you for that. Peggy Roster comes in and she says, Cornel West is full of his own bull. Interesting. All right. Well, look. I don't know how y'all feel about what I said earlier about voting for Cornel West running for president. Because, I mean, I'm kind of through with Biden. I don't see myself wanting to vote for Trump either. I don't know. You guys are making good points in the chat room. I can't argue with anything you're saying. Not only that, but with what we know about so-called whites, common sense should tell us that if he's given a large platform and allowed to speak to millions, what he is saying is not revolutionary. You're absolutely right, Yapo. I give you a clap on that. Judah Queen says, I wrote in reparations in 2020. Yeah, I might write in reparations as well. Good points you're making. For those of you that are coming in, if you have an opportunity, re-watch my presentation, because this was really about Emmett. You know, obviously you can see the thumbnail. It's about Emmett Till and the effery of Joe Biden and the fact that Joe Biden and the DOJ did not get this family justice. And yet he sets up here talking about justice and repair when there is no repair for the Till family that should have gotten justice before Carolyn Bryant passed away at 88 years old. It's a damn shame. Moan Jackson says, don't vote at all. Deborah Guns comes in strong with this. I'm voting for the party that's for cash reparations. Otherwise, both parties can go to hell. Clap to that. Fly C says this, with Biden, all black Americans going to be homeless. Wow. Because he wants immigrants to get our jobs. Body blue, raise arms. Wow. Chris World Network says, Information Man, I have a thought that I would like to share. Why don't you think they want to silence Tupac? Because Tupac was going to lead. Tupac was going to lead us. Let me see. I mean, of course they want to silence us. That's obvious. I mean, I agree with you. They want to silence our voices. They don't want us to talk, speak up. I totally get it. I totally get it. Let me see right here. Cornell will do more than Obama. Actually, I would agree with that. I would agree with that because Obama was a politician. Cornel West is not a politician. That's the difference. But, you know, all these people blow a lot of smoke up our behinds, you know. They all. Let's see. Good points, though. I mean, you know, everybody's entitled to their points. Let me see. Golden Melanin says, when so-called black leaders are attacked to entitled, that does not represent us or have our overall well-being in mind. Can't help but not. Can't help. Let me see. Let me read this again. When so-called black leaders are attached to titles that don't represent us, or have our overall well-being in mind, can't help but not to trust them. Facts. Clap to you. We got Keith Cunningham here who says, I'm still trying to figure why Emmett Till coffin in the Smithsonian. You know, that's a good point. Now, I'm glad you said that, sir. You just refreshed my mind. Let's put it right here again. Once again, as this gentleman has just come into the chat room and made a profound statement, something that I should have asked earlier on, why is his casket in the Smithsonian? And where is his body? Good point. As you see right there, his body does not appear to be in the casket. So if they put his coffin in the Smithsonian, then where is Emmett Till's body? Is his body in this casket? Or did they put him in a new casket? Where's his body?
Tell the truth.
Has anybody been to the Smithsonian in D.C.? I've been to the Smithsonian. It's not one big museum. It's many different museums, ladies and gentlemen. This is something we're going to have to research. Did they remove his coffin to put him in a museum with his body unearthed in the coffin for people to look at the coffin with his body in the coffin, which I think is sacrilegious? It's a disrespect. Or did they take his body out of the coffin, put it in a new coffin, and took this coffin and put it in a... Why did they do any of that shit? Very good point, sir. I give you a clap again. Now you got me pondering that thought. We got my man coming in strong. We got Keith West coming in strong, says peace and respect. Great brother, Information Man show, and salute to the Information family. Yes, to the Information family. Yes. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Something about that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm glad that this gentleman came in and dropped that thought that made me really rethink a few things. Wow. And Deborah Gunn says, unbelievable, these people. Right. Lloyd, I think this is the right name. Lloyd says, yeah, where is his body and where is the funeral footage that that lying original Karen who caused his, brother, definitely watch this stream from the beginning. I get all into that. Thank you for your comment. Very good comment. Let me see. Jonathan Kidd comes in the house again. He says, Keith Cunningham, where is the body? Right. Where's the body? That's a good point. Oh, Mike B is in the house right now. It's a trophy. I don't like that. If that's true, I don't like it already. Yalpo says that his coffin is in the Smithsonian for the same reason all the serial killers and nuts keep things as a trophy. Facts. Lady St. Clair R says they put his body in a new coffin. So Lady St. Clair, they took him out of the old coffin and put his body in a new coffin. But the question is, how do you feel about them re-earthing his body like that? Why? I don't know. I'm lost for thoughts. Carlton Way says the white supremacist probably has his body in the Vatican. Nolly says, whoa, that's kind of sicking. Yeah, it is sicking. It is. To me, it is. Judah Queen says he was buried in a new casket according to the Smithsonian Magazine. So they took him out of they took him out of his old coffin, which was this coffin right here. And they gave him a new coffin. Probably to preserve they can't preserve his body because...
Tell the truth.
I'm pretty sure he's been decomposed already, but this whole thing is... Why did they... I'm glad that the gentleman came in and said that, but I also wish he didn't say that because now he's got me thinking, my mind is spinning. There's something sick about this. Peace and Information Man, what's up, chat? What's going on? Welcome here, welcome here, welcome here. Let me see what Yapo's saying. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm getting ready to end the stream. I gotta take a break. Just the thought of this now is really bothering me. It's kind of bothering me, folks. Just last week's stream was a very difficult stream to do. And near the end of this stream, putting it all in perspective about his body being removed, they're giving him a new casket, and I wonder if the mother was alive, would she have approved of that? You know what I'm saying? They had to have asked the living relatives of Emmett Till, could they unearth his body to put him in a new casket? They had to have gotten permission from someone who's a living relative. Let's see. Key Weston, dealing with sick individuals. Yeah. Mike B says this. Remember, they took black men, they hung private. Yeah, they took the private parts off of us when they would hang us. You know, they took the private parts off of Emmett Till, too. You know that, brother. You know they did that. They were sick. They're sick. They're sick. All right, everybody. I got to get ready to get out of here. I want to say I appreciate all your support today. Indy says this. Let me understand this. Our history is being extracted out of history. Right? It's being extracted out of history. Books, yet they display other pieces in a museum. Yes. Facts. Facts. Facts.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Just like this. I had this on the show earlier on. They put this in a museum. Why? Why disturb his body? And I'm going to say it again. Did this happen when Mamie Till was alive? Did she approve this? And if she didn't approve this, who in the family approved it? And would she have approved it if she was still alive today?
Tell the truth.
It's just a thought, everybody. As they have made a monument right now, they're making monuments for the young man. But he still did not get justice. If his soul is not resting well because he didn't get justice, what I'm saying is that If Emmett Till never got justice, then how could his soul be resting well? And therefore, why would they unearth his soul in that casket that has not gotten justice? Putting that in the Smithsonian, in the lynching memorial, it isn't for the United States, it is for them. Trust that. Jonathan Kidd says someone in the family got paid. I agree with that.
Tell the truth.
Judah Queen says they did it 2 years after she passed away. Isn't that some sneaky type of stuff? Isn't that some sneaky? They wait till the woman passed away, till his mother passed away, should I say, before getting any permission from her.
Tell the truth.
To make that decision that they made to unearth his body, to simply put his casket in a museum. Didn't I just say in the beginning of this podcast today that when it comes to black people, and particularly black men, they love to memorialize us when we're deleted. They only praise us, put us on a pedestal when we're no longer alive.
Tell the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening to the program today.
Tell the truth.
We're going to get ready to get on out of here, make it do what we can make it do. I want to say peace to all of you. Share this. I don't know how many views. I don't know what the overall views will be on this video, because it just seems like people sometimes don't want to hear real talk like this. And of course, YouTube does not push. I've been looking at my channel. YouTube is not pushing my content. It's not pushing it through the algorithm. It's not pushing it for more people to see it. I know what's happening to my channel, and I'm not happy about it. But I am happy with those of you that support me every week. Come over here. You give a brother a chance. You take the time out of your busy schedule to listen to what I have to say. Even if you agree or disagree with some points I make sometimes, that doesn't matter. It's about having open and fair and open and intelligent dialogue while we can all share our thoughts. I would say to the Emmett Till family, I want to say, I wish that you all would have gotten justice when that woman, Carolyn Bryant, was alive before she has now passed away to go see the devil. I truly wish that was the case, you know.
Tell the truth.
But with that said, everybody, I'm going to get ready to get on out of here. You all tell someone that you love them. Everybody, I hope you're well, that your health is well. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your family. Life is short. We know things that can happen in this world. And I'll be back again soon, maybe even be back tomorrow for a podcast, because I have a whole lot more stuff to talk about with y'all. So with that said, everybody, y'all take care, peace, and respect. Peace.
Tell the truth.
Peace, everybody.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download today. You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
You are listening to
Tell the truth.
Information Man, please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.